but we have a lot of domestic cues as well, right? So let's talk about how these overnight cues and our own cues impact the movement that we'll see in our own markets. We have a research team joining in to tell you just that. This is our Power Prep segment. Guys, a very good morning and happy Friday to all of you. Ekta, let me come across to you first up. Looks like it could be a Friday party for our own markets as well.
Morning, Sonal. Well, yes, it seems to be a happy day for our Indian equity markets as well. So I'll just recap what took place yesterday. The Nifty ended above 20,100. So we've already scaled past those levels. The Nifty Bank, however, snapped its 4-day gaining streak and the mid-cap rally continued. So it ended higher. The mid-caps ended higher for the 20th straight session. Now, in terms of FII flows, strong. That is also because there was the MSCI rebalancing yesterday. DII's net sold around 780 odd crores. Macros are the big cue today, so extremely supportive GDP data for Q2, which is coming at 7.6% versus our poll of 7.03% and versus 6.2% on a year-on-year basis and versus 7.8% on a Q-on-Q basis. Core sector data for the month of October has been extremely strong as well at around 12.1% versus 9.2% on a month-on-month basis. Fiscal deficit was better for October, which came in at around 1.02 lakh crore versus 1.38 lakh crore year on year. So the macro setup seems to be positive for our markets. And the global setup is positive as well. So the US markets ended higher. We have oil, which is still at around $82 per barrel, so no change there. And we have Asia, which is largely weak, but the GIFT Nifty, which is indicating an implied open in the green. Mainly, it will be the domestic cues to watch out for. So the other big cue to watch out for will be the exit polls, which came out last evening. Any kind of impact on our markets. But remember that the eventual final result will be on Sunday. We have auto sales today, so that might corroborate what we are seeing in the GDP data. The commentary will be important. It is a high frequency indicator. We have the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI for India today, banking sector momentum as well. And we have Flair Writing, which is going to join the list of the recent listings. So that will be another one to watch for.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Ekta, for all those cues. But a lot of stocks that will be on our radar as well. Hormaz has that list. Good morning, Hormaz.
Good morning, Sonal. Plenty of them as always. And Ultratech Cement is the one. CNBC-TV18's news break got confirmed last evening when they announced that they'll be acquiring Kesoram cement business. And Kesoram will be demerging that cement business now into Ultratech. Now, in lieu of this, Ultratech will be issuing one equity share for 52 shares of Kesoram. And the deal values Kesoram at a 25% premium to Thursday's closing price. The Whirlpool of India, well, parent company, which is Whirlpool Corporation, now plans to sell 24% stake next year in one or more tranches. They intend to retain a majority stake. They currently hold 75%. So after that, it will be down to 51%. And the stake sale proceeds will be used to reduce debt. Now, Hindustan Aeronautics, where the Defence Acquisition Council approved the procurement of light combat helicopters and light combat aircraft Mk1A. Thomas Cook, the OFS that opened yesterday, they are going to exercise the green shoe option now. It will be open for the retail investors in today's session. TCS, the share buyback is opening today. They intend to buy back 4.2 crore shares at 4150 rupees through the tender offer route. SIS, the board has approved a buyback. It is a 90 crore buyback. They'll be doing it via tender offer process. And the buyback price of 550 rupees is a 13% premium to Thursday's closing price. ITD Cementation, they have won a 1,000 crore order in Andhra Pradesh. And lastly, Moil, which has cut the prices of some manganese ore and other products by 5% in the month of November. Back to you.
Okay, that is a long list, Hormaz. Thank you so much for joining us. But we have to talk about the FNO space. It's a fresh new series. Mangnam is joining in with all the cues. Morning, Mangnam.
Good morning. It is indeed a fresh new series. In fact, when we look back at the November series at the start, the street was looking at the bottom of the barrel with Nifty below that 19,000 mark. The FI longs just around 11%. But boy, those shorts were surprised. And as a result of which, the Nifty saw nearly 1,300 point gain in November itself. And how does that compare with the previous series? Well, in terms of absolute points, it's the best series that we've seen since Feb 2021. And if you look at the percentage terms as well, it is the best that we've seen since July 2022. The Nifty gained around 6.8% in the Feb series, in the November series itself. Last 5 December series. Now, as we look at December, important to know, December's been a bit of a chill month where we see a bit of profit taking. 4 out of 5 December months have seen mild negative returns, but one of them actually saw a big up move as well. So So that's something we need to watch out for. In terms of rollovers, have been, largely on the lower side, 73% as compared to 79%. But that's because a lot of the shorts didn't roll their positions over. The Nifty open interest at the start of the series is around 1 crore shares, pretty much in line with what we've seen as an average in the last 3 series itself. Now, the shorts didn't roll over a lot of their positions, as a result of which the Nifty long positions at the start of this series is 36%, a lot higher than what we saw at the start of November series as well. But is this 31% to 36% very good? Turns out not, because in the recent past, wherever a Nifty series has started with FII long exposure between 30 to 40%, it's turned out the series has seen negative returns. So if you just take a look at it, Feb 2021, the Nifty, started with FIIs seeing 33% long positions. We saw an 862-point decline. May 2022, the FIIs started the series with 35%, a 1,000-point decline. As recent as October 2023 as well, the FIIs started with 31% long exposure. We saw 666-point decline. December 2023, we start with 36% long exposure. Let's see where we go this series, especially because we put a big move behind us as well. But important to watch out for a couple of cues and triggers for this series. One will be the Indian state election results. Then we have the RBI policy outcome on December 8th. Thereafter, in the globe itself, we'll watch out for what the US Fed's peak is and US yields. There is low global liquidity in the holiday season, second half of December, but that also coincides with the Santa Claus rally. Do we get that or not? Well, for starters, the first day of December series is very positive. Let's see where we go from here.
Okay, all right. Thank you guys for joining us and prepping us up for this trading day ahead. It's time for a short break now. When we return, India's GDP growth in the second quarter has beaten estimates. Growth has accelerated by 7.6%. More on that when we return.